nothing to do with the Americas. The reason why we have them on display is this. When you buy a baby reticulated python for a pet, it's this big and it eats little rats. Oh golly. And then after a year, it's about 2 meters in length and it eats large rats. After 4 years, your reticulated python is 4 to 5 meters in length and it eats chickens, pigs, rabbits. Eventually, it can eat small goats. All right? Should you own a pet snake that eats barnyard animals? No. Always practice responsible pet ownership. Please and thank you. Now, at Little Rays, we also are very, very interactive. We try to get you up close and personal with the animals. How many people like touching animals? Everybody, right? I've played with baby tigers, okay? I love touching animals. When you touch the animals, we have 2 main rules you need to follow. The first rule, do not touch any of the animals on the head. Touche pas la tête des animaux. I said it in both official languages of Canada. You need to understand at least one of them. How do you avoid getting bitten by an animal? Don't touch their head, okay? If you see an animal in the wild and you don't want it to bite you, leave it alone. I'm going to teach you all a valuable life lesson. Some people are afraid of snakes because they assume if you see one in the wild, it will bite you. I'm going to show you how to avoid getting bitten by a snake in the wild. If you see one, you look at it and you say, oh no, there's a snake, I'm afraid of it. You literally turn around and walk away from the snake. Okay, snakes don't slither after you and jump 4 feet in the air to bite at your hands. It doesn't happen. If you leave them alone, they will leave you alone. Now, after you're done touching the animals, what should you do with your hands? Wash your hands. Please and thank you. We have sanitizer in the exhibit. Clean your hands in the washroom. It's not because the reptiles are covered in snake and lizard germs, but kids, look at your hands really quick. Look at your hands, you guys are super gross, okay? You guys pick your nose and you touch the animals, you chew on your hands and touch the animals. Kids, look at your parents, look at all the grown-ups. They all pick their nose too, okay? You can either do it the clean way or the gross way. The majority of you do it the gross way. I pick my nose when I'm driving. That's my fortress of solitude. I'm like, nobody can see me, I'm that guy. Now, don't touch the head, clean your hands when you're done. That being said, you guys want to see the first animal? That was lackluster at best. You guys sound like a bunch of Ottawa Senator fans. That was terrible, okay? This is Oiler and Flame country, okay? I'll give you one more chance. You guys want to see the first animal? Much better. Awesome. So the first animal isn't a reptile. It's actually a striped hyena. Yeah, we have a hyena back here, and it's a fluffy animal. Just let me grab her. I'm kidding, it's not a hyena, it's a big tarantula. Now look at her run. Now this is Fuzzball. Fuzzball is a golden knee tarantula. These are native to South America, and a lot of people are afraid of tarantulas because they assume that if you are bitten by one, that you get incredibly sick and you have to go to the hospital. If the tarantula was to bite me right now, would I have to go to the hospital? No, I wouldn't. Would it hurt? Yes, it would hurt a lot. This would be the worst bee sting of my life. Okay, my hand would swell up the size of a baseball glove, and you guys could have a bunch of really cool high-five pictures with me. Now, the only time you would need to go to the hospital from a tarantula biting you is if you were allergic to them. Is anybody here allergic to South American tarantulas? Yeah, exactly. You're probably fine. If you're from Canada, you should be safe. The funny thing, I was in Fort McMurray earlier, about a month ago, and there were 2 little Brazilian girls who were like, we're from South America. And I was like, okay, that is definitely really fun to know about. Tarantulas, like this, they're New World. They don't bite for self-defense. They need to save their venom to catch their food or their prey. What they do to protect themselves is this. Tarantulas have 2 major body segments. They have the front part of their body, which is the head and chest combined. That's called the cephalothorax. And then they have the back part of their body. That giant circular bulb is called the abdomen. Her abdomen is covered in a bunch of tiny urticating hairs. she will flick those hairs into your eyes, nose, and mouth. It burns and stings. It will make you sneeze and cough. It is terrible. How do you avoid having a tarantula flick hairs in your face? Don't eat them. If you guys are going to eat a tarantula, cook it first. That's how you can neutralize the hairs. Now, this is a moderate-sized species of tarantula. The biggest tarantula on the planet gets to be about this big. It's called the Goliath bird-eating tarantula. They like to eat small mammals, amphibians, and insects, or bugs, frogs, and rodents. And that tarantula is so big. Guys, put your hand up to your face, just like this. If that giant tarantula sat on your face where your hand is, it could almost touch its own legs behind the back of your head, like a giant face hugger, which is pretty cool. The animals on our planet are amazing. Now I need somebody to come up here and hold the tarantula, and Buddy in the blue jacket guy, him, yep. Don't worry, if I don't pick you during the show, there will be tarantulas out after the show. I'm not mean, I'm just not fair. Now come on up. Here we go. Keep your hand out flat and pretend to be the rainforest. So, don't worry. Something you guys might not realize is that tarantulas can be very fragile. If she was to fall off of our hands and hit the ground, she could maybe die. Her abdomen and cephalothorax could break apart, or her abdomen could break open like an egg. They're very fragile. Everybody, give them a big round of applause for holding this monster tarantula. That is awesome. Now, normally I give you guys the choice. You know what? I'll still give you the choice. The next animal will start the reptile portion of the show. You guys can either see Godzilla, or you can see lightning. So if you want to see lightning, yell out lightning. If you want to see Godzilla, yell out Godzilla. Okay, so kids, another important life lesson. I'm going to teach you that democracy always fails, and I'm going to pick lightning. Even though you voted, you're not going to be happy. I'm kidding, I will take out Godzilla. I will reward your democratic vote. Godzilla is a large Japanese dinosaur, and they shoot laser beams out of their eyes. I'm just kidding. This is actually Godzilla. It's a big turtle. So, Godzilla is an animal called an alligator snapping turtle. These are native to the southeastern United States of America. This animal in my hands is the largest freshwater turtle in the Western Hemisphere. Right now, he weighs about 40 to 50 pounds. He can easily reach a weight of over 150 pounds. The record for one of these turtles is over 200 pounds. Oh, excuse me, little lady. Now, as I'm bringing him around, you might be looking into his mouth, and you will see that he has a tiny pink fleshy appendage. It almost looks like a tongue. Do you think it's a tongue? No. What he will do is use that little worm-like appendage to hunt. And I'm going to show you when I bring him back up to the stage. Now, Godzilla likes to live underwater. And when he's under the water, he will sit with his mouth open. Now I'm going to put him on the ground. Godzilla, sit. There we go. Now, he will sit with his mouth agape under the water and wiggle around that little worm-like appendage. It acts as a lure. The fish will see that in his mouth, and they'll sit back. Good human, there we go. So, the fish will see that worm in his mouth. The fish swims into his mouth. He clamps his mouth shut and eats the fish. This is one of nature's best natural, anglers. This can catch more fish than your parents. Now, he does have the name snapping turtle. What does that mean? That it snaps or bites. Newsflash, everyone. Every single turtle or tortoise species on the planet has the potential to bite. We have redfoot tortoises on display. If you were to put your finger in front of a redfoot tortoise's face and they thought it was a carrot, It could bite your finger. Would it hurt? Yes, absolutely it would hurt. Wow, no. Yeah, no, it would hurt a lot. Now, for self-defense, tortoises pull their head into their shell and they hide their face with their hands. Snapping turtles can't retract their head into their shell. They can't hide inside of their shell. So the best defense is a good offense. They do bite out at a potential predator. Now, do we have turtles that live in Canada? Yes, absolutely we do. If I ask a question, you're allowed to answer it, even if you get it wrong. I won't be upset. We do have turtles.